Hi, I'm Joan Newcomb, and today's Mystic Minute is on navigating by feelings. And first, I want to clarify what feelings are, because in these physical bodies, we have an awful lot of emotions. We've got feelings, and we've got sensations, and we've got reactions to things. So I'll give you some examples of feelings that I don't really mean to navigate by. When you're operating this world from a certain level of perception, everything is a reaction. I mean, you just feel like life is coming at you. These things are happening to you. I feel so frustrated and powerless. Well, then I'm going to do this if somebody else has done that. And as you can kind of see from my description, that's a very reactive mode. And it's also a very powerless stance. And then to break out of it, you have to have like really strong feelings to break through these restrictions, and let's resist those things that are trying to dominate us. And I speak from experience. And all of these things, and it's not a laughing matter when you're in the middle of it. It's not fun. It doesn't feel very good. And we're actually always trying to go towards the light. We're always trying to go towards what feels better. So it's a really tricky thing, because when you start to navigate life from a perspective of higher consciousness, it starts to become clearer and clearer how you want to navigate. And very clear that I don't feel motivated to navigate into an area of a lot of drama. Very clear that I notice that I am moving forward with ease and grace, and I no longer have the reactions to things that I used to have. My husband and I took a walk the other day, and we're in this very beautiful neighborhood. It's a really different neighborhood than we were in 3 months ago, which was a lovely historic neighborhood. And I felt very victimized by the noise in this historic neighborhood. We were just up the street from the train tracks, and the trains go by every 2 hours, 24 hours a day. And there was an apartment building that went up, and another one that was being constructed in this historic neighborhood, and it changed the traffic and the population levels, and I was feeling the energy of the noise, and you could also hear the freeway at certain times, and it was just way too much stimulation. We're now in a place that is in a cul-de-sac that is up near a wooded area of a golf course, and it's on an acre. I used to live in a rural area on 5 acres, so I don't know city measurements, but I think it's a half an acre, so it's a lot for a city to have space around me. And what I was noticing when we were taking this walk is that, I can hear the freeway from here, and there is traffic going by. And it isn't that I have become used to the noise. It was noticing that the noise wasn't bothering me on the depth that it would have. And it was funny as I was walking by, because there was this kind of double feeling going on of like, well, this used to really bother me. And it did not bother me in the way I grew up in cities. I grew up in cities, and huge populations, much larger than the area I'm in now. Lots of city noise. And it isn't that I'm not feeling it anymore, but there's like some component of not feeling victimized. That was a really long explanation to tell you about navigating your life as consciousness, and you just don't go to the areas that feel dramatic, and you just don't go to the areas that don't feel clear, that don't feel genuine, that don't feel true. All those words. What does that mean? I just notice as I go through my day now is when I am steering myself in the direction of myself as consciousness, when I'm driving as myself as consciousness, and clarity and openness and expansiveness, or whether I'm going towards resistance, whether I'm going towards trying to change, fix, and manipulate the hologram, change, fix, and manipulate, other realities that aren't my own. It becomes very clear on how to do this. And it doesn't require a really radical shift in your perception. What I've noticed over the years is that sometimes it's like we're doing these personal growth things, and then we just feel like we just have to leave our marriage and quit our jobs and do all these really, reactive things to what's going on outside. And it doesn't take changing other people or getting rid of other people. It takes a shift in here. And now, mind you, when there's a shift in here, sometimes the rest of the world does reorganize to something different. But what I also notice myself as consciousness is when I shift in here, out there changes. I've told the story over and over again about my current marriage, where the first 5 years were really tough, and there were different reasons for staying. And ultimately glad I did, because using the techniques that I teach now to just shift myself, shift my experience, shift the reality that I'm in, created such an external change. And now I'm in a relationship that I never could have imagined. And I certainly couldn't have trained this person to be different, or it's a different experience from inside out. And I'll have to say that navigating as higher consciousness doesn't mean that you're instantly in nirvana. I don't think you get this sense when you're reading, Byron Katie or watching Eckhart Tolle videos. You're not getting the sense that they ever have a sense of discomfort. And I think that they just don't react the same way to discomfort. They may just notice it passing by. They don't. I start to make Eckhart Tolle sound Swedish, but they just notice it passing by. Wouldn't it be lovely to go through life not feeling a victim of circumstances? Wouldn't it be lovely to go through life having life be an exciting adventure? Wouldn't it be lovely to be excited for the next indicated thing instead of wanting to pre-plan your road trip for the results to be precisely as you want to define them? Because really, that's what life is it's a road trip. And you can pre-plan your itinerary, but you're not going to control the weather. You're not going to control the traffic patterns. And when you realize that as greater, higher consciousness, you are creating all of this, all the components of it is created by you, the essence of who you are. And it's meant to be random and spontaneous, and it's meant to have all these unexpected twists and turns, because that's what makes it fun. That's when things start manifesting in your life better than you could imagine, bigger than you could imagine. In unexpected ways, you get exactly what you desire. It just may not have looked like what your little Napoleon self desired. Total control. Tonight we are taking over the world. Pinky in the brain. Well, what are we going to do tonight? Same thing we do every night, Pinky. Plan to take over the world. So anyhow, that's all very silly stuff. And that's what life is, very silly stuff. And if you are facing any really severe issues, overwhelming issues, life and death issues, I've been there. Actually, in my peripheral storyline, there are stories like that going on, and it doesn't diminish those things to deal with. But I find that having a higher perspective on dealing with them makes it so much easier to square your shoulders and march into the chaos and the drama if it's necessary, to be of help, to bring light, to bring resolution, to midwife someone back to spirit, to ease pain and suffering, whatever that is about. None of this diminishes that aspect of physical reality. None of this is to invalidate those experiences. All of this is how to make it easier and have moments of joy and fun in the midst of it all as well. And if you like these videos, you can subscribe to them on YouTube. You can also sign up below to get them in your inbox. If you want to know more, my website is joan-newcomb.com. I have a weekly radio show and podcast. I write a weekly blog and newsletters. I do meetups around the Puget Sound in Seattle, Bellevue, Tacoma, and University Place. I do monthly webinars. And if you want to know more about how to navigate your life as consciousness, I have a whole program of consciousness techniques. It's like a toolkit, or maybe it's like a toy box, like that better, toy box of things that you can use to navigate this world with ease and grace, have moments of joy and fun in it. So go to my website, joan-newcomb.com, and I'll see you in another couple days with another Mystic Minute.